There comes a time in the life of a real estate photographer that you may end up stop editing your own listings. And there's a really good reason why. If you have other people editing your own listings, that gives you more time to be on the field capturing listings. There's a few different ways that you can be editing a listing, either one, yourself, or two, outsourcing it to someone overseas who's working overnight while you're sleeping and it's ready in the morning. Or there's also AI programs. One in particular, Auto HDR, has been making the waves a lot. So I want to ask, is Auto HDR pricing worth it? Let's find out. Here's the pricing. So you can try it for free for 10 photos, and that's 3 brackets per photo. So 30 brackets, obviously. Try it. See if it's for you. That's amazing. But that's not what we're looking at. We're looking at the cost itself. So for 500 photos, you can get at a price of $265 a month, and that's US, approximately 53 cents per photo. So we're going to base this off of 53 cents per photo. And I'm going to compare it to overseas editors and a few other avenues as well. And then you can decide, is it worth the cost, right? So just remember that approximate 50 to 53 cent number, and it really adds up. Let's do some math right now on 53 cents per photo. Okay, so 53 cents times, let's say on average 50 photos. So that's $26.50 per listing, and that's US, so that's more like $35 Canadian. And let's say you do, honestly, on average, we do between 5 and 10 listings a day during our busy months in the spring and summer, but let's say maybe 7. Okay, so 7 per day. We do about 1,000 listings a year. So that's per day, and then per working day, 5, and then times 4. We're spending US between $35,000 and $5,000 on even just Auto HDR as well. But I'll tell you something. Coming from paying external editors overseas, or even trying to do it ourselves, still Auto HDR comes out on top, and I'm going to try and convince you why. So let's look at, for instance, when we began our real estate editing journey, we used Brownie because I think it was just a huge company that came up, and it was very obvious that, okay, let's use Brownie. There came a time when I was shooting, and I still shoot, 5 to 10 listings a day sometimes, and when we got to that cadence, that level of volume, I couldn't edit anymore. So I got my wife, Abby, to watch me edit photos and video, but we're talking about photos today. And literally she watched me once, and the following day she was better than me. So I was very fortunate to have someone close who can work alongside me to edit all of our volume while I'm shooting. And it was definitely a recipe for success. When it came to her getting even too busy, we looked at Brownie. So at $2 an image, that is insane. That's times 4, basically what we're spending with Auto HDR. So let's say $2 a photo, 50 photos, that's $100. And if you're charging, we used to charge $100, we'd be making no money. 5 years ago, we were literally charging $100. As our quality got better, and I guess the competitive pricing came to mind as well too, started charging $150, $175, $200, and now our minimum's $250. And that comes with unlimited photos though. So very rare we take 40 photos, even for like a small apartment unit. Like I can take 100 photos, no problem, pretty easily with really thoughtful staging photos and things like that, but not the ones where it's just like the object on a table, but actually using it as maybe foreground and enhancing the appeal of the entire residential property unit in and of itself. So 50 photos is not hard to get to, and that's $100. So if you're even charging $250, that's more than a third of your budget gone. Just for editing, and that's a lot. And then that's probably not including taxes as well too, I'm sure, or some administrative hidden fees, and that's also starting from $2. It's just, look at all this, so gonna just exit out of there. Auto HDR obviously comes out on top, and this entire video is about, is it worth it? Is it worth the cost? So let's take a look at Fiverr. That would be the next place that I think we logically went to after trying to find help and external help, short of hiring someone local. But that in and of itself, it unfortunately isn't worth it. There's not really a position for that, unfortunately, especially when we need to absolutely guaranteed always have something ready the next morning, essentially, for our clients when it comes to photos. So on Fiverr, that was where we went next. And you can kind of see here, here's one person. I opened up a window here. We'll take a look at this. Like for 5 photos, it's $7 Canadian. 15 photos, so it's over $1. It's over $1, no matter what package, right? So there's just one example. So it's double the cost of what we're paying with Auto HDR. We'll get to Reddit in a second, and you can kind of just see that's how much it costs, from $8, from $22. So if that's like the bare minimum that we're seeing, it's still more than double what we're paying with Auto HDR. So let's get rid of Fiverr as well. Now let's go to Reddit for a quick second, and let's look at what someone was saying. How much are you paying for editing? And this is a really great group that all real estate photographers should be part of, real estate photography. There's also real estate, I believe, videography or photography on Facebook, and that's another amazing group to be part of. You can always get the latest industry tips from real hardworking photographers in mostly North America, but also around the world. So this person asked, how much are you paying for editors? The one person said from 50 cents to $1. So that's good. Someone said it looks like crap. Well, let's skip that for a sec. 75 cents, 70 cents, 50 cents, 60 to 75, $8.50 per image. Wow. That might be architecture, but that's mad expensive. That's you're going to take 10 photos at a house. So the average is about 60 something cents, which is still more than the 53 cents that Auto HDR is charging us. But that being said too, between 60 and $1, then you introduce human error. And I think that this is really a real thing, unfortunately. We've been through about a dozen external help companies and solo photographer editors. And unfortunately, human error is the thing that happens a lot. Either sometimes they forget to edit a listing or they edit something wrong. The color of the furniture is wrong, or the kitchen cabinets, especially if it's wood or brown or dark. And then unfortunately, when something is wrong, it takes a long time to get your photos back. Is the price of, even if it's 3 cents or the same, do you want to put the sake of your business and your reputation in the hands of someone that could mess up? No. It's happened to us too many times where literally we've had to say to our clients, so sorry, it'll be coming in a couple hours at best. And Auto HDR comes back in less than 30 minutes. For people that are trying to run a business, unfortunately, if you've got a great human editor, power to you, that's amazing, good for you. But for circumstances where you can get something back quicker and it's your fault if you didn't put it into Auto HDR or a program that can get it back to you in time. We do everything the night before we put into Auto HDR, and it's ready the next morning. It's ready 30 minutes later. Even if something needs to be put into Auto HDR the morning of, we can do that no problem. And the clients, we never get complaints now. And I think that's the biggest thing is we don't get complaints for photo delivery. Our next biggest bottleneck is video delivery. Most of the time, we're pretty good, but it's definitely a thing it's a common question. Hey, how's the video coming along? Especially as the delivery of the photos gets so quick, kind of sets the precedent that oh, wow, that was quicker than I'm used to in the past few years. How's the video coming along? And I do think that there's going to be a program that takes real raw video footage, not photo to video generators. I think unfortunately, it's okay, but it just looks too fake and it's crap. Real, raw video editing, something like Edit AI or something. Maybe Auto HDR will come up with something. Who knows? That's the next thing. That's our next biggest bottleneck. Anyway, so there's just something from Reddit really quick, and then we get bombarded all the time with people emailing us. almost a few times a day. So I'm going to go through a few emails, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 emails to just show you also what people are advertising. And this is starting at prices. So 55 cents, but again, human error. Still going to use Auto HDR over them, unfortunately. And then there's also twilight, dusk images, virtual staging. Like this is all a lot more expensive than what Auto HDR charges. Even like some don't even charge like anything. Like it's amazing how more efficient Auto HDR is without having to pay for things that require manual blending or putting in furniture for virtual staging, like manually. Yeah, it just breaks the bank, and our clients don't want to pay for it, and we're not paying for it either. So there's one example, 55 cents, okay, 2 cents more than Auto HDR, but still human error. And we'll look at here. We don't need single exposure unless it's exteriors, but even then we do multi-exposure now. So 3 brackets, 2.0 EVs, and that's 60 cents, 7 cents more expensive than what Auto HDR is charging for their standard package. So, unfortunately gone. And then let's check out this person. 60 cents. Too expensive, gone. And then let's see here. And they all promise speedy delivery and blah, blah, blah. We've tried so many people, and it's just the same excuses sometimes. Either they're taking on too much work, and, that goes with real estate photographers too. If you take on too much work, you can't be in 2 places at once. You can only take on so much work. And then you either increase your price or you hire people to help you. So like there's not many other ways around that. 60 cents again, virtual staging, $18. Like it's fair. But now we're in the age of where you can kind of prompt these things, and it's not $18 anymore. And this is all US, right? 65 cents. Nope. And let's see here. And this one, 85 cents. And obviously we're doing HDR flambient blending. Flambient's actually with flash and ambient, but HDR blending is like the real thing where it's just the brackets themselves without flash. And actually awesome. Auto HDR's new version 4 almost looks like flash ambient, flambient. It's pretty freaking awesome. It's very good. Almost like literally looks like flash ambient. And of course, very expensive. Get 10% discount on all services for first-time projects. So 10% for the first time. Still not good. And then I asked an LLM, like what are people commonly paying for? And I asked for it in Canadian. So local editors are going to charge anywhere between $1.50 and $5 per photo, often 2 to 4 for quality work. That's 4 to 8 times what Auto HDR is charging us, and Auto HDR's quality is amazing. It's really good. Like even at $1.80, that's standard edits. Like what does that mean? Like I want like the best edits. Overseas editors, which we've relied on for many years until things like Auto HDR came to light, right, and came to the scene. And you either adapt or you don't adapt. You either can, now we can pass on these savings to our clients. This doesn't mean that we just reap the benefits completely. This means I don't need to worry about taking too many photos. I want to be able to go into a home, a 5,000 square foot mansion, and take 100 photos or more, sometimes more. Sorry, Abby, for taking so many photos. Otherwise, if you're charging $2 a photo, you literally can only take like 40 photos, even for a huge home. And I know a lot of people that still do that. That is not the way that you should be conducting your business as a real estate photographer. Sometimes people ask us how many photos you take, and I'm just like, as many as it takes, as many photos as we need to. I don't ever want to hear someone, a client, a real estate agent say, you didn't get this angle, you didn't get that angle. So I'm always going to take however many photos I want. And having a program like Auto HDR allows us to do that and pass on those savings technically to our clients. Savings in heartache and headache and pricing and better quality, which then helps the home better, and then sellers are happy. I can't stress enough how important things like this are. So beyond that, overseas editors, yes, we relied on them for many years, but it's on even if it's the same price, 50 cents on the lowest end if you're lucky and you convince them that you have a lot of bulk, you'd get maybe close to 40 to 50 cents, but then you have the issue of human error, unfortunately, like we discussed before. And then programs. There's lots of programs. There's a lot. There's probably more that will come out as time goes on too, but Auto HDR is actually built by real estate photographers for real estate photographers. The Office is, I've never seen it, but they always say that, I wish you could see The Office. It's probably chaos and a mess, but in a good way, in a creative process way. They're real estate photographers. Their best intention is to create a program to save us time, to pass on those savings to our clients, and at the end of the day, just create something that's just awesome. And you should take a look at some Auto HDR videos. There's tons of them. You can put flame in a fireplace. You can black out a TV screen, which is one of my biggest enemies are mirrors and TV screens because I have to try and hide from them. So, there's a quick, rundown on what it costs for other people, whether it's other programs or overseas or local. And just obviously Auto HDR just comes out on top always. There's my reason for, is it worth it? Is Auto HDR worth it financially? And I think it is. Is the price worth it? Yes, it is, because it's not just about the price. It's everything else that comes with it too. The simplicity of it, the minimal effort put into it, and then being able to stand out from your competitors locally, to offer a better service to your clients, to retain them and reduce attrition. Because in this business as a real estate photographer, one of the greatest things about this industry is that you can really estimate like how much you're going to make in a month based on previous trends. So this is our 6th year in doing high volume real estate media. And we literally know like which weeks are going to be slow and which weeks will be busier based on vacations and holidays and things like that. So like for instance, March break, most of the time is slow, which is a time for people to get their listings ready. And then the following week, though, most weeks after long breaks are insane. So, we've had the luxury of knowing like when high volume happens and being ready for it. So, being able to have a machine that works with minimal faults, minimal things that break. Find your biggest bottlenecks and always try and find efficiency. So that way, you just have a better service and better product. So if you enjoyed that video with Auto HDR, I've got a link where you can try it for free, even beyond just the 10 photos, and give it a try because it can change your business like it did ours. I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe, leave a comment of what you think, and see you on the next one.